The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Only do things incredible can, cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
There we go. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's where I started off. Tanner Halbert up in the house tonight. He's representing Hunter Yancey right now.
No.
Yeah,
no.
that's what your name says right there. So we're going to get that started in a minute. Hunter will be here anytime now. The problem with kids today, Tanner, is you guys think that this is your walk-up music, and that's not it. That's your 15 minutes. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Right?
I'm always early.
I know you are, but I'm just saying, like, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. You've been told that before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Well, let's start off today with breaking news. J.J. Watt signs with a 2-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Does that matter, Tanner?
Right now, I would say it wouldn't really matter right now.
Right.
But, like, once the season gets back up and they start doing, like, all the spring stuff, then it might matter then.
You think that helps them, like, I mean, do you think it helps them win games? I mean, it didn't help the Texans win any having him there. So it looks like it's
honestly,
$15 million a year for 2 years, it looks like.
I don't know how he'll fit with them, but, like, he'll obviously do good anywhere he goes because, I mean, he's a good player and all. But, like, it might take him some time to get back into a new team, another team, because he hasn't played there. He don't know how their thing is.
Well, here's the good news. Former teammate DeAndre Hopkins is there. He'll also reunite with Vance Joseph, who's the Cardinals' defensive coordinator. He was the defensive backs coach in Houston, Watt's first 3 seasons in the NFL. He'll be paired with fellow pass rusher Chandler Jones. So he ranked 15th out of 119th qualified pass rushers last year. So Texans lose out to Watt, who ends up in Arizona, which I don't know if I could have predicted. I don't think anybody had that on the list. I assumed he'd end up with his brothers in Pittsburgh. If you only plan on a 2-year deal, you'd almost think that you'd end up with your brothers in Pittsburgh like that, but they didn't, and ends up in Arizona. What's up, man? Tell me, saying his walk-up music, Tanner. We had just started here, Hunter, and Tanner, you've got one job now. You know what it is?
What?
You've got to fix the cameras real quick. So switch mine and Hunter's, and then yours and Hunter's. Then you'll be good to go. Let me do the lighting. All I gotta do is just turn that one on Hunter there. But Hunter, we were just talking about the breaking news. I don't know if you got it on your phone alert or anything about J.J. Watt signing with
the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, and I hate to be Mr. Pessimistic, but does it really matter? Are they winning the Super Bowl in the next 2 years? Should he have not he's getting about $15 million a year. Would it not been better for him to go to Pittsburgh? It's not like he signed like a 7-year deal and $100 million or something. Is this the only team that would pay him that much? Does he like DeAndre Hopkins better than he does his brothers? I've got so many questions. Why Arizona?
I don't think
weird.
Pittsburgh was even on his radar. I heard a lot of people saying Buffalo was on his radar.
Yeah.
I thought Buffalo would have been a perfect spot for him. Playoff team already.
Mm-hmm.
They really needed help on the front four on their defense. Sean McDermott, great defensive head coach. That's what I don't quite understand. But if I'm Arizona, I'm tickled pink he chose us. I'm super happy because now they have him and they have Chandler Jones on the other side.
Right.
Both of them since 2012 are first and second in sacks in the NFL, like total sacks.
97, 95 and a half.
Yep. So
I know Chandler Jones had 97 sacks.
So for if you're the Cardinals, I think this helps. This doesn't hurt. This obviously helps, especially if he stays healthy. And to me, based on what I saw Arizona do last year, I know Tom was high on them. I think last year to me could have been a fringe playoff team. They didn't quite make it, but they were dang close.
They were 8-8.
8-8. So does J.J. Watt necessarily guarantee you 2 more wins to at least get a 10-win season? I don't think so, but I think he can help on the defensive side of the ball, something that veteran leadership is always good at. Any kind of veteran leadership on the defensive side of the ball will always help.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, he's not a bad guy. He's not going to tear a locker room apart. So I think Arizona really, I think they hit a home run being able to sign him. I'm thinking of that organizationally. Now, if I'm thinking about this for J.J. Watt, I guess you really aren't ring chasing right now. I thought he would. I thought he'd look at somebody that was a possible contender for next year.
Yeah, they're 12th in defense is what they were last year.
I think that
at 23
they could be
games,
top. They could
right
be,
in the middle of the pack.
They could be top 10.
You're either top 10,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the teens, you're in the 20s.
Yeah.
So they're in the middle of the pack at 12, right on the edge. I don't know. A defensive end making an impact is hard as far as Super Bowl wise. Improving your defense, yeah, you make some arguments on that, but the DBs are only as good as the pass rushers, and the pass rushers are only as good as the DBs, really.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got it, just think about that.
Arizona needed to do this too, though. Landed another pass rusher to go along with Chandler Jones because of the addition of Matthew Stafford to the Rams. Russell Wilson already being there, Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. That division's got a lot of good quarterbacks. Some could argue that's the best quarterback division in football. It'd be tough to argue against the NFC South of last year if Matt Ryan plays great and Tom and Drew, but it's just one of those things where it's Russell, Stafford, and Garoppolo. Even Kyler Murray plays good, but they needed a guy to go and get him, especially
their pass defense was 10th, rush defense 21st. Scoring 12th.
So I think it makes their defense better. But to me, the problem that I have with Arizona is I don't know what I'm getting out of Kyler Murray week to week yet. And I don't know what their offensive game plan is week to week yet. And I know that's kind of a good thing. That means that they're kind of unpredictable. But at the same time, I don't know if you're going to ask Kyler Murray to run 30 times and only throw like 20 times, or if you're going to ask him to throw 50 times and he only leaves the pocket maybe 5 or 6 times. Like there's no in between. There's no middle ground.
I would, and people are going to say you're wrong for this probably, but just playing the position, playing Madden, watching TV. To me, it seems like the called running plays don't work as well as I personally wouldn't call like a quarterback scramble right and just run. But
they run a lot of the read.
I would call my regular passes or my regular plays And then if something opens up, then run, and that's why you're valuable. And that's what I mean by that, and I've been saying it for years. When you run first with a quarterback, it changes your offense in a way that you're taking runs away from the running back. You're also hurting your quarterback. You're making him tired. There's so many things that, to me, Hunter, like, so, for example, you call a run for the quarterback. What if he goes 20, 25 yards? He gets hit. He's tired. He gets run over. Let's call it another play. Well, the next play is a slant. Well, they call it a slant. Well, the slant's covered. And then what if you scramble now? Now you're running 30, 40 yards scrambling around. And what I'm saying, it builds up. So the less you actually call running plays is actually better. Now, I don't mind calling some 5 or 6, just to keep the defensive ends honest, because I love seeing the defensive ends have to make the read and choose the right play. It's fun to watch that on the read on the RPOs. But yeah, I think these
I just noticed
guys
that a couple
need to sit
times.
back a little bit more and kind of say, let's pass first.
Right.
And if you scramble, cool. So Vic, for example, they just set it in. They said they didn't say he couldn't read that. They said some people say he couldn't read both halves of the field. That's not what he did. He just read one and go. He would go right, left, no, go. Instead of right.
I just
right,
noticed
left,
a lot when I watched the Cardinals this year. Like Kyler would have his moments, but then after that, there would be games where I'm like, really, this is on Kyler's back. Why they didn't win the game? He just didn't make the plays that were necessary. He didn't complete the throws that he needed to complete, and it's one of those things where that's the MO of the quarterback, is to complete the throws. And so and a lot of people look around and say, well, is it Kingsbury? Is he just a college coach still? This is only, he's now been in the league for 2 years. Is it a college thing?
Here's their wins, Hunter. 49ers.
It's a decent win.
Losing record, right?
Well, at the end of the season, yes, but at the time.
No, we're going win record, losing record. Washington, losing record. Jets, losing record. Cowboys, losing record. Seahawks, by 3. Got a win on record. Bills, wasn't that a Hail Mary?
Yeah, it was Hail Mary.
Hail Mary by 2.
If they don't hit that Hail Mary, Bills win like 13 straight.
Beat the Giants.
Wow.
Beat the Eagles.
Wow.
There's their 8 wins. They beat 6 bad teams. And they upset the Bills with a Hail Mary, and they beat the Seahawks by 3, who has no defense, and their division rival. Later, another game in the season, they lost the Seahawks by 7, so added together, they're negative against the Seahawks. So 8-8, you only beat the bad teams. This is kind of like the Hornets schedule we talked the other day. Like, are they competing for the division and the championship? See, I was 12-4, Los Angeles 10-6.
I think the Rams just got better, but now I don't know if the Seahawks are going to be worse or not.
If they get rid of Russell, obviously it's not going to be.
Yes, but I don't know.
Get rid of Russell Wilson.
No, I agree. If the Seahawks were to move off Russell Wilson, they would be dramatically worse. I'm still saying, though, if they keep him, I don't really know. I don't know how that little relationship's going right now between him and Pete Carroll. Not to mention they've got a new offensive coordinator that's come in. They don't have the one that they've had last year with him.
Somebody needs to buy somebody some flowers.
It's just I don't know that dynamic, and not to mention, I mean, Russell Wilson made the mistake. He went public and called out his O-line. Like,
well, now they're saying he's part of the problem is the Carroll sons. Did you see that story?
I didn't see the story about Pete Carroll's sons.
The stories come out that his sons, who are coaches in the organization, or one of them moved somewhere else, but that Wilson didn't like them. Is that they're unaccountable, basically, and so apparently there's a lot of things going on. I guess after 10 years. Maybe it's time to move on. I like seeing the quarterback staying as long as they can. They can ride out in whatever sunset they want. For me, I'd rather see that than some garbage Tommy Maddox come out here and get his head bashed in by Myles Garrett, or not Tommy Maddox. Who's their backup now? Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh. If you'd have put down, I would have put Arizona in the past 10 of teams I would have named. Like, wouldn't you have joined a team that you thought was a immediate Super Bowl contender right now?
Oh, well, you hit free agency.
Or is it the money?
You hit free agency for the first time in your career. You get the opportunity basically almost to pick where you want to go. Absolutely.
It's $15 million a year.
The difference, I guess he probably was hoping to get the money and the championship contender. And he probably looked at Arizona and said they got the money, and they were 8-8 last year. and they'll have another year underneath Kyler Murray's belt coming in. Maybe they make a few more additions when it comes draft time and when the more free agents become available. Maybe he looked at it and said, hey, I mean, there's an opportunity here to at least be playoff bound, and then from there, it's anybody's game. You get in, and that's at least the goal.
Here's a headline. Cardinals continue Cliff Kingsbury penalty-filled history. That they finished the season with the most total penalties and most accepted penalties during a season which they missed the playoffs on a tiebreaker. So less penalties than J.J. Watt. They think they're going to the playoffs.
Possibly.
3 teams in a division is always tough. It happens. It happens every now and then. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
I mean,
I'm surprised.
You got to look at
really
it for a lot of teams. You got to look at their schedule. So we already know they're going to have 6 games against their interdivision rivals, obviously.
Texas released Duke Johnson.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. They're cleaning house, except for Deshaun Watson, it looks like. But if you look at the Cardinals, think about it. So you know they're playing the Seahawks twice, Rams twice, 49ers twice. Outside of that, if you get another schedule like the one you just had this year where you played the NFC least and a few other teams that are bad, I mean, it's pretty favorable. All they'd have to do is win 1 game against the 49ers next year, and maybe steal a game from the Rams or steal both games from the Rams and the Seahawks. And they're close to a playoff team. They'd be at 10 wins. It'd be close. But the money must have been a factor into it as well. But I don't know either. You know, he's married now, too. Mm-hmm. And his wife is a professional soccer player in the United States. And I don't know where her team plays. And I don't know if he was just prepared to try and up and move her and take her away from her career. I'm not sure.
Best thing is to do is type in Twitter, why Arizona? What?
Why Arizona? What? and it could have been. People, they gloss over it, but you mentioned it. It could be. He just wanted to go be with his buddy DeAndre. Maybe he missed Hopkins. And that relationship that they had, it was pretty strong with the Texans. I don't know. But out of every team that the talking heads on television and on radio listed out could be a possible landing place, Arizona was not on my list.
He said reuniting with DeAndre Hopkins was big. Now, this is not what you were ready for. But more importantly, the area's hospitals where I'll be spending most of my time are top notch. Does he do a lot of work with the hospitals, I guess?
I guess he
His
does.
wife
He does a
for
lot
the
of charity
Chicago
work.
Red Stars.
He plays in Chicago? Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't even know what he's doing then.
Yeah, it just says.
I mean, I guess he does a lot of charity work.
The world chooses Arizona Cardinals.
I guess, I don't know. Does he mean charity work, or does he mean because he's going to be injured a lot?
That's what I was wondering at first. Like, so you plan on being hurt?
Plan on being hurt?
Is there
He's
something
going to go out in the
Is there
games
something
and
he
get
hadn't
hurt
told
on
the Cardinals
purpose.
before signing the deal?
All right, you're just going to collect a check? Shoo.
Golly. It says
He's going to go out there and break his
why
leg
would he
on
go to
purpose.
Arizona? Cleveland, Baltimore, Detroit don't have quarterbacks. Seattle, Tampa, Pittsburgh, KC, Rams, even Atlanta. That's where you'll have a chance to win a ring. Talking about their defense.
Did he really just say Atlanta?
His coach.
If he would have went to
his
Atlanta.
old coach is there. Defensive coordinator.
Gotcha.
If he would have went to Atlanta, they would have had a chance.
At what? Maybe 6 and
It being better.
6 and 10. Atlanta's not ready to make a Super Bowl run still.
Not Super
No.
Bowl, but surely they're better than the Panthers, aren't they?
Depends.
Josh Gordon joins Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, the fan run
The
league.
fan-controlled football league.
Yeah.
On the Zappers, whatever that means for folks out there, for you Josh Gordon fans.
I'm upset that he never panned out.
He was a studly athlete.
Good Lord.
Did you ever see a picture of David Boston? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Pretty sure whatever he was doing was illegal as far as
Right.
the
But Josh
the
Gordon,
roid stuff.
Josh Gordon was such a freak athlete. I swear, if it could have just worked out and he would have got all his problems fixed out, jeez. Think about it. What was it? One year he came in, only played like 8 games because he missed like the first few, and he was already like 2nd or 3rd in the league in receiving yards. He's just a freak. He's just a freak athlete, and it just never worked out. So hopefully the fans let him do what he wants to do on the sideline before they call the play. Do you know what that is, though, right? The fan-controlled league?
No. Are they calling plays?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's do it.
Is it like basically fantasy stuff? Or?
How can I explain this? Because even I'm confused on some of the stuff that they're doing, but at the same time, it's easy for me to just say the play calling will be in the hands of the fans.
It sounds
so
like
if you
it'd
want to
be
throw
like a fantasy league.
So if you want to
thing.
throw a Hail Mary on like a 4th and 1, then you can just click.
So
what the fans vote on.
So let's see if I can get a real answer. I'm no Hunter's
Well, that
going to
was
give me
how
some.
the coaches did their
I hope
post,
Hunter
too.
don't give me some garbage ass answer, but I just really want to know the real answer for this. Why does everyone in New Orleans want to get rid of Drew Brees? Of all the things that are wrong with that team, they think that's the one. That's the problem. That's why they're not winning. As soon as you get rid of him, 8-8. Write it down. Who? Jameis is going 12-1 every year. Taysom Hill going 12-1 every year. Come the fuck on.
The team did go undefeated without Drew Brees.
Okay.
Like Teddy won.
For 5 games, you can do
Jameis
that.
And
Didn't Dak Prescott do that on his rookie year with a team that was already good?
Well,
now put him on a team that's not already good.
but
what
Kevin,
happens?
the roster is good.
No, but for 16 games, I'm talking 4 or 5.
Right.
You can
No,
win.
I get
Tyler
that.
Heineke can win 3, 4, 5 games.
I know, but I even saw Jameis Winston with bad eyes go 8-8 in Tampa Bay.
Right. What I'm saying is the mayor of New Orleans is on here now begging for Russell Wilson to come to the Saints.
Absolutely. 100%. That offense would be more electric than it's been in the past 5 years.
How could you?
Kevin, just because the guy is efficient, if he's only throwing the ball 3 yards down the field on a slant route to Michael Thomas, what happens when that gets taken away? For God's sakes, their longest play on the season from the line of scrimmage was a thrown pass by Jameis Winston in a playoff game. 50 yards.
Tanner.
Go ahead, try and win a Super Bowl by just winning with 1,000 cuts. Look what Tom Brady was able to do this year when and his arm is nowhere near the little noodle that Drew Brees is right now.
The past 5 years, 70%, 74, 74, 72, 70, 5,000 yards, 4,500 yards, 4,000 yards. Last 2 years, he's only played 12 games. But under no circumstances, Hunter, he had 24 touchdowns, 6 picks this year. The year before that, 27-4. Year before that,
And
30,
I hear
32-5.
what you're saying, but
Not
none of
getting
that
better.
None of that has translated to Super Bowls.
How many has Russell Wilson won the last 3 years? He ain't won play. He's won one.
No,
playoff
I
game.
get that, but I'm just saying.
you're not getting better.
I'm just saying we're sitting here talking about he's completing this percentage and he's throwing this many yards. When I'm looking at the guys that are winning it, and I'm like, some of their teams are nowhere near as stacked as the Saints is.
Last 5 years, 11 wins, 13 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins as the quarterback, 8-3 and 9-3 in the last 2 years, 13-2 before that. So
Losses. None of them come to Super Bowls.
okay, Hunter, only 3 people won a Super Bowl the last 3 years.
I know, and one of them's Tom Brady, and he's not completing that percentage. I mean,
so let's. So your idea is to get rid of Roethlisberger,
100%.
get rid of Brees,
Yes.
to put in people who've never won that many or never can or never. I mean, who are you putting in over? That's what's the weirdest thing to me is that I can look at these rosters and say, let's go over NFL rosters. Brees is better than anybody in Miami, New England, New York, Dallas, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Let me reverse it. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Russ Wilson are the only 5 quarterbacks in the league. 6, Matt Ryan, that you can make an argument are as good as Drew Brees right this second.
I'll still move off of him. I'm moving off of him and Ben Roethlisberger.
Would you want him? Would you want him either one in Washington right now?
No. I don't want either one of them in Washington. What I want a rental for?
What was Dwayne Haskins? The future or a rental?
Dwayne Haskins was a failed project.
Yeah, right. So unless you know who's replacing them, unless
Right,
you have someone there, then who?
And they got 2 guys in the building right now that Sean Payton has come out and said he's fine with either one of them starting. More than likely, they're going to if they re-sign Jameis Winston as Jameis's team. I mean, I'm sitting here.
So we say that Sean Payton is the reason Drew Brees is good?
Eventually businesses look at older people and say, you're not worth the money I'm paying you. And that's exactly what it is. I'm looking.
Now wait a minute. Listen, that's different. That's completely different.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking just flat out playing football. Is what I'm talking about. You can make the money work. I'm talking about flat out playing football. You're not improving by getting rid of Drew Brees. Is my point. And you can look at Roethlisberger last year and exactly what happened.
Yeah, I know, but it comes down to this. When does he's throwing 70% and he does get to your 3,000 yard, 3 or 4,000 yard mark, 5,000 yards. What did he do that twice? Okay, I'm just saying. When does that after a while? When do you look at that and say, well, damn? When do you say, well, damn? How many more first round exits are we going to have? How much more stuff do we have to put around him just for us to continue to have first round exit after first round exit and not Super Bowls? I mean, the Saints team is loaded. Some argue that's the best roster in football, and they still don't win.
Should the Packers cut Aaron Rodgers?
No.
What in the ever-loving difference is it? He hadn't won a Super Bowl in 10 years. Same thing Drew Brees hadn't. He's the same age. He's old. Why should we not get rid of Drew Brees? Okay.
I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is 38. Was he 37?
What does that matter?
His arm is better than Drew Brees' arm.
That means he's got 6 more years.
His arm is better than Drew Brees' arm, and he's still as athletic as Drew. He's way more athletic as Drew Brees is.
All it does is add up to losses in the playoffs. That's what you just told me. Listen,
last time I checked, he at least made the NFC Championship.
If you're measuring by Super Bowls.
When was the last time Drew Brees made an NFC Championship game?
Hell, I don't know. He's only made it once, probably. Made it once. Or did they get a bye?
Aaron Rodgers made the NFC Championship game at least the past 2 years. Last year, though, they were beaten by the juggernaut that was the 49ers.
So if I was Green Bay, what I would do?
And he beat by Tampa Bay and Tom Brady.
If I was Green Bay, what I would do, I would cut the choking quarterback and hire Jameis Winston to come to Green Bay. That's what you're telling me in New Orleans, Hunter. When you say what I say, that sounds crazy to you about Green Bay. You say that to me about Drew Brees sounds just as crazy.
No,
like it's insane. Like I got Brees. Like if I'm putting the 4 best passers in NFL history, he's on that list. And
cool.
You tell me, but you're not replacing him with Brady. Like if you're saying Brady's coming to New England,
Kevin, I'm not talking about.
Y'all are putting in Jameis Winston for him.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't give a shit who they put in for the Saints, whether or not they win or lose. Regardless, I'm cutting ties with anybody outside of that's not named Tom Brady for some reason. Hell, I still would have done it if you're 40 and over. I got young bucks coming out left and right that are just as talented. I'm talking overall talent. They can move, they can throw, they got the big arm. Josh Allen him and Patrick Mahomes are now the poster childs of what you need to be. And they're coming out every year, and I can get them on the cheap, and I can have people around him everywhere. That's just how it goes.
I don't get rid of good players for bad players. That's just so weird to me. Just because you feel like it might be over. And
at the end of the day, I know Drew Brees' decision on whether or not he retires, but really the organization can make a decision already if they want. The problem is,
if I was him, I would already said goodbye to them. Obviously, they don't want me there. I'd be like, fuck y'all. I'm going to one of these other good teams. Like,
yeah, but here's the thing:
if Drew Brees is in Miami, how many wins they get?
What are you talking about? They probably go 8-8.
They won 10 this year.
No,
you tell me they get worse?
Yes, absolutely. There's no way they listen. He's not turning a team into the New Orleans Saints where he goes.
So you're saying Brees is worse than Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Okay, he might be fine at 10-6. They might do the same exact thing they did last year this year. Is there an Alvin Kamara on the Dolphins? No. Is there a Michael Thomas? No. Is there a Jared Cook? No.
Which defense is better?
It's marginal. It's marginal.
But again, we just said...
Is Sean Payton the head coach there, yes or no? It's Brian Flores, a defensive coach.
All right, so...
Just because Drew Brees goes somewhere doesn't mean they're going to be a 12-4 New Orleans or a 13-3 New Orleans.
Yes, it does. Why would it mean anything else? What did Brees do? What did Brady do when he moved to...
First of all, Brady went to more talent all around, and you know it.
Ben Roethlisberger last year, what was the team's record? Without it.
At least 8-8.
They missed the playoffs. Right, you can miss the playoffs.
It's the same team, just the quarterback.
Yeah, and he went 12 wins.
Right.
So if you take Brees off the Saints, they'll win 8 wins. If you added Brees to the Dolphins, garbage quarterbacks, they would win 11 or 12 wins.
10 wins. They'd be the exact same team.
As long as your stance is Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick are as good as Drew Brees, I'll agree with you.
I'm sitting here saying it right now. Today's Drew Brees. The offensive line is not as good as the one in the Saints. You're looking at just Drew Brees and not the situation. To me, the situation, him going from the Saints to Miami, is a downgrade than the situation he's already in. So why would I say?
You think the Saints roster is better than Miami's right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm arguing. Is him? The difference is, to me, I feel like Brady went to a better roster in Tampa Bay. So naturally, you add that kind of talent to an already great roster, it's already gonna be great.
What was great in Tampa before he got there?
They already had the wide receivers.
Evans was it.
They had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And
Fournette came.
They had O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard got hurt. They had Ronald Jones, who was already there. And the defense was already solidified with Todd Bowles as the defensive coordinator.
Every situation, Hunter, I pull up with an old man comes back into play, they win. Brady comes in and win. Roethlisberger comes in and win. Drew comes in and wins. And, again, only one person can win the Super Bowl every year.
I know that.
Right. Now, I'll give you the fact that Brees ain't got back to the Super Bowl. Neither is Rodgers. Roethlisberger ain't been back in 10 years. It's very hard to do that. It's just, to me, you don't. I don't know. It's like, okay, so
it's just one of those things where it's like, I get what you're saying, but
you're
at the same,
NASCAR right now.
same
You just
time,
put Alex Bowman in Jimmy Johnson's car.
Right,
is what you just did.
And he's decent, but
right. James can win 8 wins. Mason Rudolph can win 8 times, but they're not winning 12.
I get that. But what I'm hearing, and I agree with you, they haven't been back in 10 years, but I've seen Patrick Mahomes already make it back in 2. And he's only played for 4 years. It's one of those things where it's like there could be someone in the waiting, and they don't even have
43-year-old man.
And he did. And they had the better team, and they had no offensive line for the Chiefs. It's just,
what you doing?
That's just one of those things where you say you take Drew Brees off, the team he goes to is automatically a Super Bowl contender or a playoff team. It's like you gotta look and see where he's going, because to me, that if he goes to Miami, it's a drop off from what he already has in the Saints. I know he's not.
He's gonna
decide. One of two things is gonna happen. They're either gonna retain him for one more year on like a franchise, some sort of tag or a 1-year contract, or he's retiring. There's one of two things.
He should go to Miami. That's where he was originally supposed to go. And Saban didn't want him. Job Nick Saban.
Didn't pass the physical. Blame the physical.
That's what happens when you
blame.
Don't believe in Drew Brees.
Blame medicine.
Gotta blame
medicine for failing his physical.
The disrespect. That's what's funny. Like it's the same thing with Baker Mayfield. Like they're talking about finding a new guy right now. They ain't won a fucking playoff game in 25 years. He wins 11 wins. They're like, not good enough for us. Not good enough for us.
Didn't he go number 1 overall?
Yes.
Went 1-1.
But he's not good enough for us, Tanner. He won 11 games.
How?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so weird.
What is the
quarterback
NFL
evaluations? Every team, has different ideas of what their quarterback should be and players should be, and it's weird, and it will waste draft picks.
Let's just make them throw 40 passes
like
all
Minshew
year.
in Jacksonville.
Now, see, I think that's a waste of talent, because it was one of the few moments you actually found. I'm not going to necessarily call him a diamond, but you found a gem in the trash. It was
Devontae Graham for the Hornets.
It was a 5th or 6th round draft pick.
You
had a guy who could play.
Like
he might not be a superstar, right, but he's not gonna. I mean, he can play. I'll take him in Washington.
If you're gonna, the same thing with the bowl thing is if you're gonna take him in the 5th round, and then he's good enough to play, and then you don't play him,
that's your
why
fault.
even draft somebody in the 5th round? Just get rid of it.
I want you to think about it. Jacksonville won 1 game last year. Opening game against the Indianapolis Colts. Gardner Minshew was the quarterback. They said, wait a minute. Shit, we're winning. This is ruining everything we've planned.
Think about that. The Jackson, I tell you what it is, Hunter, and you're going. Here's my conspiracies. Jerry Jones he has tripled his wealth and billions of dollars the last 30 years losing. Why spend money and extra dollars on extra players and good players when you can make as much or more with a low-paying roster and losing? It's genius. It really is. And then you can go to Vegas, people you don't know, and be like, hey, put $100
Listen,
grand
hey,
on us losing this
Jacksonville,
league.
if you want, we'll take Gardner Minshew off our hands because Bleacher Report earlier today said Washington's planning to move off of Alex Smith. I thought we were going to anyway, so hey.
So what I was going to say is that, so Jacksonville, just you're basically getting rid of your quarterback, your coach, and everybody for hope again. And then kind of this is what you're telling me. And this is what I hear. When I hear I want a younger quarterback, I want to build for the future. I've watched the Charlotte Hornets build for the future for 30 years. I see Washington draft a first-round quarterback, and it's just it's an absolute shit show. You're not the only ones. Other team, whoever drafted Josh Rosen,
Cardinals.
think about it. Cardinals. You drafted Josh Rosen. He said he was the best quarterback in the draft. And whatever you think of Kyler McMurray, now you have a 5'5" quarterback. Seriously, whatever move you made, it's failed. I'm sorry. Kyler Murray, he's good. He ain't winning it. Write it down. Whatever, put me on whatever you want to. He ain't winning it.
No.
And that's so the whole just the getting rid of the guys that are qualified, they're good. The building for the future thing.
Well,
okay, let's say you.
The crazy
let's say
thing
you
is,
put
though,
3 or 4
but
years,
here's the
years
thing.
of building for the future, and if you miss on building for the future, then you got to what? Another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but
and then now the decade has gone by of nothing but building.
But here's the thing, Kevin. Eventually, it's going to happen whether or not the team just decides this is the year we're starting it or
I
not.
don't know. Detroit's been doing it 75
I'm just saying,
years.
listen, eventually it happens, all right? One day Drew Brees is not going to be there, so it's smart enough for them to go ahead and say, well, we're going to head and get started. The same thing with Pittsburgh. That's why they picked up Dwayne Haskins and put him on the practice squad just to see what they had. They have to prepare because they know.
Has he not been cut yet?
Why doesn't Drew Brees just go ahead and retire now?
A lot of people are saying it's kind of unfair that he's just not made. Like, he's just not even talking right now because he's leaving.
Who's it unfair to? They're already on the roster.
Listen,
the guys are already on the roster.
I know. I'm just.
They don't have to do anything but just.
No, because there's a difference. It's the cap thing. It's the contract thing that's going to be interact. So then they can probably figure out what they're going to do free agency wise, who they can go acquire. It's keeping them in cap limbo right now with him not making a decision.
You don't think if Drew Brees retires, they'll try to get Deshaun Watson?
No. With what? They're already picking in the late 20s, almost,
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jameis Winston.
they won't trade
They
Jameis
got
if they
a
got him
number
in
one
house.
pick, and the only quarterback I know of that's ever thrown 30 interceptions in a season. So
He got his eyes fixed.
He's
Well,
the NFL record holder.
They're
Listen.
talking about getting rid of Drew Brees. Why not just trade him for
It's not
Deshaun?
getting rid of Drew Brees.
Oh, they want to get rid of him.
Well,
It's the craziest damn thing I've ever seen.
How
Did Dak Prescott work out? How many wins has he got right now in the postseason?
Kevin,
how many wins?
There's a
many
difference.
wins?
There's a difference if Russell Wilson says he wants to come to your team or not. I would ship the whole damn team
What
off
the
to
fuck
get
is Russell
Wilson.
Wilson?
I'm sorry, Russell Wilson's
Don
going to give
Meredith?
you probably another 8 to 10 years with playing while.
No, I like Russell.
Meanwhile, Drew Brees has probably got 1 or 2 left, and he can't make his mind up every year.
Miami Marlins. Would you rather have 9 years of coming in second or the Super Bowl? But Russell Wilson, I like Russell. I can't say nothing bad about it.
See, and that I think the
But he is
Saints,
a loser. But he
the
is a
Saints
loser.
wouldn't surprise me if they made a run for that. If as soon as the problem is, as soon as Russell Wilson opened his mouth about the 4 teams that he's interested in, those quarterbacks immediately got on the hot seat for their job. Dak, like I've heard Colin say it a couple times, and I agree with him. Dak, no leverage anymore. He has no leverage because Jerry can look at him and say, well, why the hell would I pay you all this money? Russell said he wants to come play for me.
Mm-hmm.
He's a winner, a Super Bowl, and he's going to be cheaper than what you want from me.
The money thing is the biggest thing with the quarterbacks. It's just in any cap sport.
New Orleans, if you don't want Jameis, I'll take him in Washington for a year. If we don't want to draft somebody.
So, hey, Tanner, I just want you to, if you're keeping notes, Hunter would rather have Jameis Winston than Drew Brees. And who's the other one you said a minute ago? That was something
I'll take
else.
Garner.
Garner's fine. I don't have any problem with Garner.
Here's the thing.
You just don't.
It's one of those things where I know that Washington has got other things that we need, and this is if Drew Brees was available. I just know we have other holes that we need to patch instead of giving him that kind of money.
Also, on his injuries, or
But
talking
you
about
would
this year,
take
the games
Jameis
he missed.
Winston over Drew Brees.
The injuries he had this year were, And the same
They're
thing.
pretty-
The same thing with Romo. Like, is the ones that didn't. It didn't really scare me. Like I thought he should still be playing. Like if you break some ribs, that's just a guy landing on you wrong.
Right.
It's not like a throw in. Shoulders and elbows are way more important to me in quarterbacks than or obviously ACLs and knees if you can actually stand out there. But the
one
ribs
standing, yeah.
and like when Romo broke his back, like the guy kneed him in the back and it cracked a bone, and that's why he was out for 3. That was the Dak Prescott when Dak came in, and when he did that, like he came back 4 weeks later, and he's like, "Oh, he'll be fine," and he did. He came back slinging the ball, and they're like, "No, we're still going to stay with the rookie." Like in NFL history, no rookies ever won the Super Bowl. Got a great team, and this is what we do. We're going to stick with the rookie. You have a good team, and the rookie did good. It just Jason Garrett, Jared, they all fucked that all. All right,
Tanner, to answer your rebuttals, I think I have a mindset of more of an organizational thing than players. I would like to see my organization build up in certain spots if we're not sold on a quarterback. Like, think about it. Washington, to me, if we're not in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, one of these high-tier free agents, and I'm being generous when I said I would take Jameis for maybe a year or two just to see. I want us building up everywhere else if we're not going to draft a quarterback. That's just me.
Who is their quarterback now?
Well, nobody, because if
Taysom Hill?
if the Bleacher Report is true about we're gonna walk away from Alex Smith on the season, we've not committed to Taylor Heineke. We're not
about Washington.
Yeah, we're not committed to Kyle Allen. I mean, we don't have a quarterback. And I mean, he was supposed to be like 24, almost $25 million cap hit on us this year.
How many years do you think Ron Rivera's going to be there?
I forgot who went to coach there.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's going to be there for quite a while because of the power he has. I mean, he's got a lot of say in a lot of the personnel stuff that we do. And you know what it is? Those coaches, when they get power, ask Pete Carroll right now, they really don't want to give it up. And I think Ron's trying to prove himself too, because he's obviously proven he can get there.
Right. My question
just wants to win one.
For you guys, whatever, is like, why wouldn't you rather? And I know he's not available, so there's no point in saying his name. But so why wouldn't you go after somebody like Brees or a veteran, as opposed to if he's going to be there 10 years, but he's an old coach, he's got cancer or had cancer.
He had cancer. Doesn't have it anymore.
Well, we're not his doctors. We don't know.
He rang the bell. He rang the bell.
Is that official something? Is that God's like, I'm done with you?
I
hate to be pessimistic.
He rang the bell.
I'm happy for him. My thing is that most NFL coaches don't last more than 5 years, give or take, at the most.
Right.
So if I'm him, let's say if it's me, I'm the coach, I've been around this league a long time. I just had cancer. I don't give one rat's ass about bringing anybody under 25 years old. Like, I don't care about building that. Like, if that's what you guys
and that's what
do,
I meant by, like, even a Jameis. Like I get
I'm bringing
that.
in Gardner. I'm bringing in
Garner's
Brees,
under 25,
Jameis.
but-
Anybody that you think that you can. I said Jameis out loud, but anybody that you think you can win with other than Alex. I mean, what about all this stuff about them not wanting Alex to play and stuff? He came out this week.
Well, listen.
And I understand their position, but the way he put it was they're really, really jerks about it, is the way he was putting it.
They probably were jerks about it. But it's one of those things where, really, how are you supposed to come across with that? I mean, there's probably obviously a nicer way that you can try and put it, but you can't sugarcoat it because it is a big deal.
But
There
in
were probably
football,
31 other teams that were thinking the same damn thing Washington was.
But again, Alex Smith's point was, I'm better than the guys here. You're telling me you don't want me here just because I have an injury. There's a questionable injury thing, as opposed to
that's a damn questionable injury.
You don't want me here because I'm better than everybody in your house. Like, you, as a quarterback, you walk into the house, and that's why he got to play, is because Ron Rivera can sit there and look at that and say, this is the best guy we got. And lost 2 games, including the playoff?
Listen, we went 7-9 with going through 4 quarterbacks, and one of them had one leg.
7-2?
I don't know. I don't think he played all 7 games.
What if Ron Rivera wants to go get Cam Newton since he coached him for so long?
Tanner, do not speak. Don't talk to me about that. Because, for God's sakes, there's more traction to that than I like.
He was 5-1 last year.
So
Alex Smith was on 1 leg.
Mm-hmm.
Another veteran quarterback, Hunter.
Another veteran quarterback that proves to me if I had a veteran quarterback on 2 legs, Jameis.
Alex Smith and Drew Brees would be one heck of a tag team.
Yeah, sure. They both throw the underneath ball. Nice.
Yeah.
Neither one of them wants to test the defensive backs.
Hunter, how can you say that all Drew Brees does, though, the underneath ball, when, let's look at the 5,000 yard seasons.
Yak
how many
counts
people
towards
had
that too.
How many people's had that?
Yak counts towards that too. Yards after catch.
He's done it 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times everybody else in history's done it? Marino did it 1 time. Tom Brady did it 1 time. Matthew Stafford. Peyton Manning 1 time. Big Ben. Patrick Mahomes. And the GOAT. Jameis Winston. In the NFL history, Tanner, 12 times has a quarterback thrown for 5,000 yards. 7 of them have done it once. One guy did it 5 times. And Hunter tells me all he does is dink and dunk.
Who did it 5
Drew
times?
Brees. 5 of the 12 5,000 yard seasons are Drew Brees. And nobody's done it twice. He's done it 5 times. That's not dinking and dunking.
No.
Respect that man, Hunter. Purdue Boilermaker.
How many times
All right,
has
NBA, let's
Drew
go to
Brees
NBA.
made the playoffs?
Do
though?
what?
Huh?
How many times has Drew Brees
He's
made the
9-9
playoffs?
in his playoff career with a Super Bowl ring. So
500.
he's made it 10 times. Because one of them he didn't lose. Because he's got 9 losses. 10 playoffs. All right. One of these Super Bowls had a losing record. Who was it? Might have been Marino's got an awful playoff record. I remember we looked at one day, and it was something like. But you got to think Brady last. Well, I showed that Saturday. Brady won more NFC playoffs games this year than half the league.
Yeah.
Has in their whole careers.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter. Before yesterday, I was about to send this tweet out, but the Knicks fucked around and won a game, so it messed it up.
Over 500. What,
I was
18
about
and
to
17?
say, yesterday I could have texted, "Hey guys, only 3 teams in the East are over 500,
Well, now there's 4.
and the Hornets are not in the playoffs." But Hornets won last night, and the Knicks won last night, so the Hornets moved into the 8th seed, and the Knicks are over 500. So there's 4 over 500.
Four straight 20-point games for LaMelo.
Yeah, we're not. Who cares?
Oh, okay.
They're still
okay.
under 500.
Yeah. But
I read you the guys the other day. If you want to get back to them, where was those MVPs?
no,
Rookies
I'm
of the
just
years.
saying. I'm just saying.
Mike Miller. He's on pace to have Mike Miller's career.
We're just saying. I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm comparing apples to apples. You're comparing
4
them.
straight 20-point games.
That's cute.
Career high. He had 20 and 12 last night. 12 assists. He had a 4-1.
He got 30 yet?
He had he had 30. I thought he did have a 30-point game
I
the
think
other
his
night.
career high is 26 or 27.
Oh, it was
something like
close. That was career high in assists, though. He had a 4-1 assist to turnover ratio last night.
that. It's cute. They're still under
Who's
500.
this?
Did it without
Fake Melo.
one last night without Devontae Graham.
Fake Melo.
Fake Melo.
One last
You
night
need to-
without
you need to
Devontae
put
Graham
that in one of
and
your rap
Gordon
lines.
Hayward. Yeah, but to him, Melo is LaMelo.
Don't come at me balling like that. And that fake Melo.
Who is Melo?
Fake Melo.
All right, Tanner. Who's the original Melo?
Carmelo.
There you go. All right, I just wanted to make sure.
All right, Brooklyn's in first. Philadelphia's in first. Brooklyn's second. Milwaukee
Listen,
third.
I think Philadelphia's playing fantastic basketball right
Knicks
now.
fourth.
For somehow, some way, they're actually playing together, Embiid and Ben
Hold
Simmons,
on.
and
Tanner-
I had never thought.
Put it on my picture. I want to do this. Hunter, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
The one that
I
says
know
check.
exactly what you're going to say. Go ahead.
You don't, but you might.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we shouldn't talk NBA and Nets for the next 4 months because it's going to be fucking Lakers and Nets. No matter what we say, we're going to argue. We're going to fuss. We're going to, this team's better than this team. LaMelo got a great pass. Draymond hustles. And it ain't going to matter because at the end of the day, Nets and Lakers, that's it. Now you can go to the group. Now we'll talk. Do the Jazz have a chance?
No.
We've said this before. No. The Jazz don't have a chance. We've seen it time and time again. The guys, they want to make that huge stretch, the sprint, to have the best record in the East or West. And how many times does it work out where you make the championship in general? The Lakers did it last year, yeah, but we saw the 5 seed out of the East make the championship as well, okay? It doesn't always happen. The greatest regular season record, 73-9, the Warriors still lost the championship.
Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't mean anything. If anything, you should look around at some of the teams that are kind of coasting right now that we do consider being championship caliber teams. I think the Clippers are a championship caliber team. They're not sitting in first. I think, what are they, second or third?
Clippers are third.
Okay, see? I mean, they're not. I mean, that's still a good record, but you're not sprinting for first. What is it? Let me guess. It's the Jazz, Lakers, Clippers, 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, and in fact, only the Sixers, Nets, and Bucks would make the playoffs in the West. And who
was it? Sixers, Bucks, and who?
And Nets.
And
only the top
that's
three
right.
teams in the East
would make it.
Would qualify to make it in the West. You know what their seeds would be?
6, 7, 8.
Close. 4, 5, 6.
Oh, dang! I really undersold him.
You did. That'd be 4, 5, 6. That would move the Spurs back to 7, and the Blazers 8 is what it would do. 4, 5,
Spurs
6
this year.
What
are Spurs ranked?
Spurs are 6 this year in the standings.
They haven't been up there in a while, have they?
I think it's been about 2 years. Kawhi left, and from there, the problem was
they're 17 and 12 in the West.
Yeah, I know. The problem for the Spurs really is now Popovich has got to find somehow the right rotation to run his style of offense, to run Spurs ball. He had it for years. Manu and Tim and Tony and Kawhi was supposed and Tony was and I'm sorry, not Tony, and Kawhi was supposed to be the next cornerstone, and then guess what? He won it out. So that kind of blew up all those plans. To me, I think Denver will still be a hard out this year. What are they sitting at? 5? 7?
They're barely in there right now because they keep dicking around.
I like RJ Hampton a lot. That boy
they keep playing people. They keep playing people I've never heard of. And I'm getting tired of watching them.
They drafted RJ Hampton.
I'm not watching them. I'm getting tired of looking at this bullshit.
They drafted RJ Hampton in the first round. That boy balls. My God. I mean, he might not be putting up great numbers every night, but it's about every other night I see a highlight of him absolutely putting it on somebody's head.
We don't have anybody named Chris that works here. No. You know anybody named Chris?
Tanner's your name, Chris?
No.
It says it's got him out right now, Hampton. What's his deal?
My name's
did he
Bob
get hurt?
now.
I saw like a highlight 2 nights ago or a night ago of him putting it on somebody's head.
Well, he's averaging 2 points this year.
Right. Well, you know what it is? Think about it. You know what it is? They're probably doing to him like they do Bol, except maybe give him a minute or two. Like, they don't play these young guys.
Trade him. Like, we're
what's
losing.
What's the point of drafting him in the first round if you're not going to play him? Or even the second round?
Like Bol, it's not even that he's going to be like the greatest player in the world. It's that like he deserves NBA minutes, number one. And number two, for this being a highlight league, Hunter.
Yeah.
He's going to fill up the fucking highlights.
Like, think about it. I had the problem with the coach last year. You obviously have the problem that he has with Bol. I had a problem with him when he was almost...
Same coach? Malone?
Yeah, same coach, Malone. I had a problem with him last year when he was benching Michael Porter Jr. because he thought he didn't give enough effort on defense. I'm like, what are you talking about? The kid can go out here and score 20 whenever he wants, maybe 15.
Right.
Like, who gives a shit? Just play the kids.
In today's NBA, the way they're lighting it up, he could put Bol and Porter out there, and Jokic and Murray, and it'd be so hard to guard them.
Right, and I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, well, I get you're the head coach, but why are you being like a third grade teacher right now, saying no, go sit in timeout because you didn't do this right? Like, let the young kids play. RJ Hampton, let him play. Maybe your team will have more spark with RJ, Bol, or Michael Porter Jr. on the court than old fart and dust power forward that you got out there. I can't remember his name.
Why does Zeke Naji get 10 minutes a game? Isaiah Hartenstein, 10 minutes. What does Isaiah Hartenstein do in his 10 minutes that is so much better than Bol?
Listen, I don't understand.
Who is Facundo Campazzo?
You ask anybody in my friend group, anybody maybe that's even my age. If you look at him and say, okay, so my starting five is going to be Jamal Murray, probably put RJ Hampton at the 2 guard, going to put Michael Porter Jr. out there at the 3. We'll put Bol and Jokic at the either interchangeable at the 4 or 5. You don't think that team scores? I think it fucking scores a lot.
What happened to Gary Harris?
I don't know. He had what was it? The injury last year? Wasn't it a back injury last year?
He's playing 30 minutes a game and only averaging 9.5 points.
Sit him. Cut that in half.
That's
Make it. Let
crazy.
him play 15.
Like-
Hell, even 20.
I'm not even
minutes.
I'm not even trying to hate on Gary Harris. I thought he was a good shooter, but his PER Hunter is 9.4. He's averaging 9.7 in 30 minutes a game.
Like this
Paul
goes
Millsap's
back.
getting 24.
That's the name, Paul Millsap. I don't
Monte
know why I
Morris is
forgot his
getting
name.
27 minutes a game.
Like I sit here and I think about this, and I'm like,
Silly.
what? I
That's bad
make the
coach.
same argument about all sorts of things. I'm like, this is what happens when you put dumb people in positions of power.
It's just bad coaching.
Like
I don't
me,
have-
you, and all my friends can sit here and say the starting five I just laid out for you. By God, even if R.J. Hampton is just a rookie and Bobo and Michael Porter Jr. are only in like their second or third season, how else do you expect them to get better if they don't play?
How do you guard Jokic and Bowl in the same court?
And Michael Porter Jr. He's 6'10".
I know that, but just without those two alone, if you're the other team in today's league,
Think about it. What the Hornets could have drafted Michael Porter Jr. and they tried. They didn't.
and Bowl.
Because they don't know how to draft people.
I think they
like,
did decent
just-
this year.
Just straight up defending that, like in the post, you could run pick and rolls
Mm-hmm.
with Jokic and Bowl. What big men in the league, two big men, are going to be able to deal with that? As far as being able to move with Bowl,
Well, first, who's contesting 7-1, 7-2 bowl easily?
Right.
Like I'm not I can contest him. I'm talking like you contest him with ease. Like there's
the pick
nobody.
and roll with those two would be so like. It's not that it's like I don't know. It's not that they're just. It'd be so hard to guard for the height. Bowl gets up there so high.
Well, not only that, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Bowl. I don't really know about R.J. Hampton's game much, other than I know he's a slasher and can attack the basket. But let me just talk about Jokic, Bowl, Murray, and Porter. That's 4 3-point shooters, and 2 of them are about 7 foot. Okay, what are you gonna do about it?
So I was watching it's an NBA show. Had a bunch of old NBA players, and they were talking like the best teams to do this, and that. And the subject of this show was the best team in the '80s not to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was the Houston Rockets with Sampson and Akeem Olajuwon and them. They ended up getting there. They started with the Bucks. They had 3 really good players, and then they talked about the Mavericks. But I did want to point out the Houston Rockets thing, and they were talking about, and this is when we talk about Akeem. Akeem was on a team with a guy named Ralph Sampson. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Okay. Virginia legends.
Sampson
yeah.
was 7'4".
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's talking to Mikhail about playing them. This is so funny.
Yeah.
and he's talking about guarding the other big men. He said Ralph was easy because Ralph was so skinny and so light that you could push him around and box him out pretty good. You just had to worry about him going higher than you.
Right.
He said you could shoot over Ralph if you put enough height on it. You could get over him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but Akeem, you couldn't do none of that to him. He said, I tried to hit Akeem one time. I come through, brought the elbow through, got him in the chest. He just laughed and said, ha ha, nice move. And I'm like, oh shit. He said, the next time he come down and put his shoulder into my chest, I thought I was going to die.
Right.
But then he said, what got me on Akeem was, he said, I shot this fadeaway real high one time.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we just went over Ralph like 2 plays before, and I shot it on Akeem, and Akeem's 6 inches shorter than Ralph Sampson.
Right.
He said Akeem threw it in the 3rd row. And I was like, oh, God, I don't know where I'm at, what's going on, but this guy's going to be a great. And he was so high on them. And then Eddie, what's the guy that does the Thursday night shows with Charles and them?
Oh God. Got the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to Georgia.
He said, so why do you think Houston didn't win the championship? And Mikhail, in his nice way of saying this, Hunter, I'm not quoting it exactly, but he basically said, well,
Ernie Johnson. Yeah.
He said their backcourt guards had off the court issues.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is that they had, he said, how did he say it? He said they had supplemental substance problems or something. He kind of worded it like that.
Yeah.
And they all start laughing, and somebody's like, so you're saying they're all on coke. So he's basically saying that he basically said the Houston guards were all on cocaine, and that's why they couldn't beat the Celtics.
Right.
That's what Mikael said. He said, why couldn't they get over the hump? He said, well, the guards, they were basically on cocaine and
Well,
they didn't know what they
there
were
you go.
doing. He's like,
Why don't we ever talk about Taco Fall with his height?
he's something else.
Because I mean, he's 7'5".
He's
I mean, he's a freak. That size is that is
what I'm
freakishly
saying.
large. I'm just but
Murasan's the biggest.
Does he not
obviously.
do much or something?
here's the difference.
You ever seen George Murasan? You ever heard of that name?
I've heard that name.
He was in the movie The Giant. He was in a movie too. He's 7'8". He's the tallest player, NBA player. I'll pull him up
For
a sec.
Taco, listen, this is the thing with these really tall players. Tanner, sometimes one injuries, you got to be worried about that. Feet problems, knee problems.
Right.
Because think about it, the human body really isn't supposed to be that damn big, if you think about it. They're just, it's a gift or something. Some could call it an abnormality. Maybe
No, it
they're
is.
that big.
It's the pituitary gland, isn't it? Growing too
I think
big.
it is. But not only that, for God's sakes, you got to be coordinated. You got to know what you're doing.
Look at
And-
Murasan.
Didn't he go undrafted or something?
Yes, Taco went undrafted, and
Tanner.
Boston has it.
Look at Murasan standing next to Shaq.
What the freak?
You ever seen Yao Ming standing next to Shaq?
No.
So Murasan's 2 inches taller than Yao Ming. So
What?
Look at this. So
Yao Ming's freaking huge.
Yao Ming is 7'6". Murasan's 7'8". I'm gonna show you a Shaq Yao Ming picture that you're just won't believe. This one.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Like,
Yeah.
so the guy I'm talking about now is bigger than Ming. Okay, George Murasan. He was in a movie. Murasan. I want to pull up too this other picture. Let me show you how I'm holding a Coke can.
Have you ever seen the picture of Muggsy Bogues? I forget who he was standing next to.
Manute Bowl. Look at Murasan standing in the doorway. Hunter.
What the freak?
The door comes up to his shoulder blades.
My man's got a duck, man.
Imagine having to guard him.
All right, look at this. I'm Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing's 7 foot tall. I know he's behind him a little bit in perspective, but still, here's Tim Hardaway standing next to him at the free throw line. Tim Hardaway's 6'1".
Find a picture of him and MJ standing next to
I'm
each
sure.
other.
I'm sure there is one. I was going to find the Coke can. The Coke can. Here's Jordan going by him.
Yeah, see, MJ could still dunk on him, though.
Oh yeah, he can dunk on anybody. But look, Jordan's eyes are in the 7s. Jordan's a foot taller than you almost.
Yeah.
Everybody in this room, and he's looking at this dude's belly button. One more thing, I'm a George Murasan Coke can. This is him holding a Coke can. That's a full size Coke can.
Looks like when we hold a toy Coke can or something.
That is Murasan holding a Coke can. Look at that.
Jeez.
Imagine
Think about how
slapboxing him.
big his fingers are. How long them jokers are.
That's a full hot dog. Dude, my God.
Go try to slapbox him. He'll just hit you one time and you'll be done.
I don't know if he's still
Jeez.
alive or not. Just a very, very big human. Just check him out there in Asia.
Gee, that's a man.
We thought Bobin's big. He's 5 inches taller than Bobin, Hunter.
Yeah, Bobin was huge when we were out
What
there
was
covering
he?
him.
He's a
Jeez.
big giant man, and this guy was bigger than him. That's funny. All right, anything else on the NBA, Hunter?
No, I'm not. I'm looking through here. The only thing is, holy cow, who'd have thought the Knicks would have been in first place, or not first place, but fourth place with a winning record. Oh, how the times have changed. In 2016, the Bucks, Knicks, Nets, and 76ers were the 12, 13, 14, and 15 seeds, and now they are the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seeds in 2020. Look at that.
What the freak?
How long ago was that?
2016.
Just 5 years.
Just 5 years.
All right.
How it has changed.
Hunter, for some reason, I looked up number one seeds in the NBA. Instead of giving me East and West, it gave me the overall number one. So that's the best I can do for you right now.
The best number one overall would be the Sixers, right?
No. What I meant, like, each year, the number one overall, the best record in the NBA. Easy to follow on that one?
Yeah.
All right, so here's how many times. Count how many times they won. The 2000 Lakers, 2003 Spurs, 08 Celtics, 13 Heat, 14 Spurs, 15 Warriors, and 17 Warriors.
7.
7 of 20 years, the number one seed has won the championship.
Number one overall seed.
Best record in the NBA, won the championship 7 out of 10 years.
That's right, because last year, the Lakers were just the number one seed in the West.
Bucks were one overall.
The Bucks had the best record in the NBA. Yeah.
Lost in the semifinals.
See, and that's why when people say, can the Jazz do it, I'm just like, no.
The 2012 Bulls lost in the first round.
Now listen, Utah, if you hear me, prove me wrong.
They tied the
Just do it.
Spurs. They lost in the Western Conference Finals. First round Bulls, that was probably the first one. Oh, Mavericks lost in 07, went 67-15 and lost in the first round.
Jeez, that's a great year.
67 wins. Got beat by the Warriors in the first round.
And that's not Steph's Warriors.
07, isn't it?
That's what, Baron Davis's Warriors?
You know? I do not know. 2007.
Steph was drafted in either 2009 or 2010. So it was like 2 years prior.
Oh, I'm pulling it up. We'll find out immediately. I will pull the stats up. Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Jason Richardson, Matt Barnes, Monte Ellis, Michael Pietrus. Remember, number one pick overall, Andrews Biedrins.
Let me tell you something. That sounds like a bad boys club with Baron Davis
Al
and
Harrington.
Steven Jackson and Monte Ellis.
Oh.
That's a bad boys club
Jason
right
Richardson
there.
was a dunker, too.
Yes.
And Baron Davis, God, I love Baron Davis. I can't say I like watching him play. I like watching him talk.
Baron,
He's just so cool.
At his size,
he don't care about his weight.
At his size, he played ferocious.
Well, he was fat.
Yeah.
Not for a basketball player. I'm not saying he's like Khalid El-Amin fat.
Listen,
I'm saying
he was built like a hot dog.
Right.
Like when we look at Carmelo,
probably ripped.
When we
He's just thick.
when
He
we
probably
look at Carmelo for years and said, "Man, you don't really look like you're in the best of shape," but he still goes out there and drops 40. It's like, oh, okay, that's the guy. That's the guy.
I love me some Baron Davis. I mean, he just doesn't, like you said, he doesn't look like he's in the tip top of shape. Kind of like Barkley.
Yeah.
When in fact he's in excellent shape. But I think
They're
what
all
it
in
is
great
that
shape.
most NBA players are so damn skinny that if you have any weight on you, you look fat.
You look kind of pudgy. Not only that, but like because your shirt is tucked in and it's like pulled against you. I mean, you could have rock solid abs that just stick out, and you're like, dang, he's got a belly.
See, I thought Karl Malone was like really big and stout.
Yeah.
And then when he got in the wrestling ring,
No.
I was like, whoa.
Not at all.
He looked like it, but you could tell that he is basketball skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially compared to like standing next to Hulk Hogan. Like Malone's big and ripped.
Well, I'll tell you what, the body, your muscle's going to look a whole lot different whether or not you're on steroids or not.
Well, obviously, but like,
yeah.
So even Diamond Dallas Pavers going through some pictures. Like Malone's got the size, and he was pretty ripped. I give him that. To me, when he walked out in the wrestling ring, he looked skinnier than he had been on the basketball court. But the dude's so tall. And
Listen,
so he's in fantastic.
shape. I'll give LeBron credit to where credit's due. My God, he's in fantastic shape for a 38-year-old.
Yeah,
like,
HGH works fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and when you spend $1 million a year on you, like on your body,
that's when I question
where all that money's going.
Yeah.
Can I have some of that?
How much is a Planet Fitness membership? $10 a month.
I don't think he's going to Planet Fitness.
I know that, but again, could he not?
Planet Fitness
Like what
isn't a real
exercises?
gym.
What exercises are you doing
I don't know.
for $1 million that we don't know about? Like what kind of squats are you like? Alien squats? Zero gravity? Like that's what I'm saying.
He's
Like,
in a cryo chamber when he's done.
okay, so when you start talking cryo chambers and all that,
Yeah.
that's different. But like
Yeah.
for the actual working out, like didn't
I
Ric
don't know.
Flair and Hulk Hogan like win all kinds of world championships going to Gold's Gym?
Probably.
I guess I'm getting shout outs to all these gyms, but not mean to. But I'm saying like, I don't know. That's just a weird. That's one of his weird things.
They talk about the same thing.
$1 million.
They talk about the same thing with Tom. They're like, Tom spends about $1 million a year on his body. I'm like, avocado ice cream don't cost $1 million.
Salads? Salads and avocado ice cream cost.
Well, now this was think about it. Salads
Avocado
for
ice
some
cream. That sounds disgusting.
I don't know how. I'd have to see how they make. They probably I might make it kind of like a sherbet. So I'd have to test that. But think about it, Kevin. Though there's a reason why salads cost more expensive than anything you won't get at McDonald's. It's because it's better for you.
That's bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
That's
And
how
all it is
McDonald's
lettuce.
If you eat something better for you, it's always more expensive
Yes,
than something
100%.
bad for you.
The
Bullshit.
McDonald's in like Sweden and stuff are way more healthier than the ones here.
That doesn't surprise me. They probably have regulations what they can put on their food, unlike us.
So I want to let me tell you a foreign food quick stories. Couple of things. If you go overseas, which I wouldn't recommend at this point in our world right now, who knows what? I don't even want to go to London right now. That's where I went, and London's dangerous as crap right now. So in London, everything comes with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Whether you say with or without it.
It's on the side.
Whatever you order, chicken sandwich, cheeseburger, it doesn't matter. It's got mayo on it. So you have to say no mayo. Also, they're not big on ketchup. So, because I said, you understand, I said mayo. They're big on mayo. So, like, if you ask for a ketchup bottle, it don't come in a big, gigantic, bottle. It comes in a little bitty bottle about as big as a salt shaker. And I was eating a cheeseburger at a restaurant. The Budweiser looks almost exactly like the Hunt's ketchup bottle. I poured a Budweiser on my cheeseburger.
It's a beer burger. Hey,
At one of the restaurants.
It's a beer burger.
I just turned it right up, and it poured out. It's like, shit. Dude, the exchange rate was double. So if it costs $5 for a meal here, it costs 10 there.
Yeah.
So I'd already paid. I'm sitting here. This was a restaurant. This ain't McDonald's burger. It's just like a $15, $17 burger. I'm sitting here pouring this beer on. I ate every fucking bite of it.
Right.
It was covered in beer and ketchup, but I just went. Zzz. So a couple other things. Gyros are big. You know what a gyro is? Or a gyro? If you want to argue with it.
I've heard of them, but I don't know exactly what it
Greek.
is.
So
it's Greek.
So what's crazy about London, and I guess it's probably the same for New York, because there's no so here we go to shopping marts and malls, and there's parking lots. Well, they've got vertical buildings, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have this. So the shopping is inside these vertical buildings, and it's kind of weird for me. Like, you're shopping in the ground store of this. Yeah. But you could buy a beer, drink it up, walk up down the street anytime. But so the places that had the gyros, it wasn't no bigger than just the wide as this room could be, and back 15 feet. But they're all hanging in the window, and they had to cut off the meat in the window. You ever seen that? The meat spinning. To me, it's gross. That's what they did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't big on that. And then, if you went to McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell, or something like that, they had a very limited menu. So they had their stuff, but so at McDonald's, they didn't have like a dollar menu. They just had the meals. So you had 10 meals, and that's it to choose from. So I thought, I thought it'd be a little bit different. One of the biggest, hardest things is what's weird is that in London, you're speaking English, right? But I'd say 90-95% of the food service industry is not from England. So your waiter could be from Cameroon. Your the waitress or the manager or the bartender could be from France. Well, all of these people are trying to speak the Queen's English. I'm speaking
American English.
American/Southern English. I had more problems communicating in English than I thought I ever would, because they didn't know English and they had never heard my dialect. So you could go up and I could be like, I want a cheeseburger, no mayonnaise or something. They just look at you like, what did he say? So I thought that was my only communication issues, was like in the food industry. And because you speak English, all the cab drivers were English as crap.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like I said, in New York, you got foreigners. In England, no. Hey, whatever English accent you can say, hey, bloody, get the bloody taxi. Here we are getting a taxi. That's how I was.
Yeah.
But I thought the food and stuff, I thought you kind of. What was weird over there, Hunter, you can't get American sports unless you like pay for it, like you own like your house or whatever. So you're in the hotel. There's like 7 channels. 2 of them's there's one tennis, one cricket, and one soccer. That's all you could watch. Would you want to stab? Would you want to stab yourself?
Who watches cricket?
Cricket's like the second most watched sport, isn't it?
Mm.
Because where it's popular in India. It's like one of the biggest
Don't they just
countries in the world.
How do they even throw the ball? Don't they throw it like
Gotta
weird?
bounce it.
Cricket's pretty sick to watch. Like, yes, they're in dorky uniforms, but like these dudes, like the dudes that do it are freaking athletes. Like it's like rapid reaction baseball, and so you try to one hop it by the batter. Now the batter, all he has to do is make contact.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, if you foul it backwards, you still made contact. So you're in a circle, and you can hit it over the fence. You can hit a home run in any direction. And he tries to throw it by you and hit the sticks behind you to get you out, and he's got to bounce it by you. That's my basic knowledge of it. Is what I got. But
if he hits it behind him, he can still run.
Yes. So the fielders are barehanded.
Mm-hmm. No gloves.
And they make some of the sickest plays ever. It's fun to watch without even knowing the rules. I'll say that. But it's not like I'm sitting here on. I will say this: the gas station near my house, the guy's Indian, and every time I walk in there, he's watching cricket, and I'll talk to him about it. I act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, he's doing bloody great, whatever. Going back and forth with him. He thinks I'm funny about it because I don't know shit about it. I try to shoot it with him.
Right.
He laughs
Isn't
at
the
me.
ball like rubbery?
I'm not sure. It's called it's called something else stupid too. I don't know. Cricket ball. Did you ever play lacrosse or anything? Y'all didn't do that.
My dad did.
Some schools had lacrosse, some schools didn't.
I was wondering if they did.
They were talking about getting a lacrosse team at Crest at one point, but then they never did. It was going to be like
I had a buddy of
women's-
mine.
I could see them doing it at they're up north in Watauga. When I was in school at Appalachian, Watauga did it, and then their conference did it, and that was we sold them at the sports store I worked at. That's why I was wondering if I didn't think Bandy's had. But I know a lot of teams down east are.
Arizona
has
it. I know they have it.
Denver itself, the Denver area, they had like a travel lacrosse team. A buddy of mine wanted me to play it, but I was like,
those Denver people were. Lincoln County is if you ask someone, what's your definition of diversity? Like you ask someone like from New York, they're like everybody in North Carolina is the same. And you can go to Lincoln County and find like 4 different groups of people all in one county. Like you go down the east and they're playing lacrosse and soccer and swimming on the east end. And the west end is wrestling and soccer and football. And I don't know. It's different parts of the county. All right, a cricket ball is a hard, solid ball used to play cricket. Well, thanks. It consists of a cork core round with string, then a leather cover stitched on. And a manufacturer is regulated by the cricket law at first highest class level, whatever that.
oh, cricket law.
It's called bowled. The cricket trajectory of a cricket ball when bowled through the movement in the air and off the ground is influenced by the action of the bowler. So he makes that son of a bitch spin, Tanner.
That ball looks like it's rubber, though.
That's what it's covered in. It's rubber.
Did you
I know
not listen
leather.
to
I mean,
anything
like-
I said? A cricket ball consists of a cork core round with a string and a leather cover stitched on and manufactured.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's basically a baseball.
Bouncy
The same
baseball.
thing.
A more bouncier baseball. They got a rubber
They
core.
juiced it.
Let's start playing cricket.
It's a juiced baseball.
We'll start playing cricket instead of baseball, and we'll play it on a baseball field.
Nah, you can't do that because he ain't gonna have anybody behind him.
You'd have to hit from second base
Yeah.
to kind of get in the middle of the field. I don't know the exact rules on that, but all right. So there's anything in basketball, Hunter? You wanted to?
No,
Touch on?
that's for the NBA. That's about it for the NBA.
But I mean, we don't have. It's not like we got anything else going on.
No, we really don't. I mean, there's just spring training just started like 2 days ago or this weekend. Nothing, no real news out of that. I think there was a certain baseball team that had a little COVID scare and started freaking everybody else talking about, oh, we need to cancel the baseball season. But luckily, they're not stupid enough to do that. So
We're not going to cancel it because of one team.
4 of the Hornets wins are against playoff teams this year.
I mean,
that's
how
gonna
many
be
teams are in the MLB anyways?
30.
30.
Yeah, 30.
Hunter, your Wizards won 7 of 8,
Yeah.
and then lost by 1 last night.
Yeah, that's another. I think they said it's the 11th straight game that Bradley Beal has scored 40 points and lost. That's most all time. Damn.
Y'all can't play a lick of defense.
No, it's not.
It's like, y'all can score all you want. Y'all ain't playing a lick of defense.
Nobody plays defense.
You're right, Tanner. You're right.
Why are we talking about defense when
listen,
does?
Listen, Tanner, I mean, you're preaching to the choir. We say that every week. We're like, first of all, why are you going to bring up defense?
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
In a league where you're almost averaging 110 to 115 points a game.
Only 5 teams are giving up less than 110.
And number one is the Knicks.
Yeah, they're one.
And guess what? It's producing a winning record. But people should have figured that, though, because that's what Tibbs teaches. Tibbs wants you to play defense. He had him playing defense when he was in Chicago. He wanted him to play defense when he was in Minnesota. They didn't do it. And now with the Knicks, he's got him playing defense.
They need more coaches like that. That will make them play defense.
But it's not sexy. It's like we held the guys to 99. Well, that's not sexy.
D'Antonio ain't done shit because of that. So
right.
I mean,
Tibbs hasn't won a championship either. So I mean,
and then again, well, you can't say that about D'Antonio. He's had MVPs on his teams.
Steve Nash.
Didn't Harden win with D'Antonio
Harden
coaching?
won a MVP.
He's coached 3 MVPs.
Crazy. And never got there.
Let's just go change it and make all the change the
Tibbs
football
coaches
players and
MVP.
let them play.
He coached the youngest ever to win the MVP in Derrick Rose, and now he's got him back on his team in New York.
Let's let some of the football players come play
Tanner,
basketball.
I don't think you realize what young Derrick Rose was. Derrick Rose.
He was Russell Westbrook.
He was Westbrook before Westbrook. Damn.
Same time.
Yeah.
I've seen young Derrick Rose.
Close.
Or was Westbrook
close. No, I don't know which one is older. Westbrook was the year after Kevin Durant was drafted, if I'm not mistaken. I think he came.
It was.
Because that was like the core. Is when they first moved to Oklahoma City. Damn it.
Let's go let Tom Brady play basketball.
Same age, were they drafted this in the same?
No, that could be different. Rose was born in October of '88, and Russell Westbrook was born the first week of November of '88. So he's a month older than him.
Damn, that's the same guy. 88 produced the same guy.
Yeah, same exact age, a month apart.
The only difference is one of them did not have nearly the injury problems as the other.
Right.
If D Rose keeps those knees healthy, doesn't blow him out as much as he did.
So he had 3 straight years of averaging 20 towards ACL, and he never averaged 20 again.
Mm-mm.
That's why you hear so many songs say about Derrick Rose's knee.
Yeah, I mean,
his best year was 25-7-4.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, him winning that MVP, I wasn't sold on it, but it was a great year. I'll say that.
But I'll say this too. I will never sit here and say if he doesn't tear his ACLs, I'm sitting here saying he would have won a championship. No, I can't guarantee that. But man,
that's why you were talking about like.
But Hunter, he won an MVP at 25-7-4, and Westbrook's averaged triple-double like for years.
Yeah. I think Westbrook's what 1 or 2 MVPs.
Freaking nuts, like how much he does.
That's why I wouldn't want Deshaun Watson, because he's torn both his ACLs too.
He's torn them both?
Yeah.
He tore one of them in high school.
No, he tore his
He tore one in college too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Westbrook's had 10 straight 20 scoring season. This year he's averaging 19-9.
It's close.
19.
I thought he tore one in the NFL in his first year.
I didn't think he did. I thought one of them was early in high school.
No, it was his sophomore year, I think. Or it was either his freshman or his sophomore year of college.
Westbrook's 2-time scoring champ, 2-time MVP, Hunter.
Yeah. 2-time MVP for Westbrook. That's what I thought.
So, Rose, listen, I like him. I thought he was pretty decent. Not, that big of a fan. Thought
it
he
was
good.
his rookie year.
Really quiet,
Yeah.
introvert, weird. Did you see the video I got? Did you tweet that out or retweet it?
Oh, yeah, the one where he wasn't.
Just walked down on stage.
Yeah, he just walked down on stage during the All-Star game. Yeah, Derek, he's always been quiet. He's never been your in-your-face superstar, He let his play do the talking. That's what it was. And even though he hasn't really averaged 20 since he tore his ACLs to bits, I mean, he's not been a bad player. He's just been, It's the whole thing that people will say about Sean Livingston when he had his injuries. What could have been? And that's unfortunately what we have to look at now with Derrick Rose. It's just what could have been.
I'm going to read you was LeBron got one scoring title?
Yeah, I think he's only got one. Well, Kevin Durant, I think he's got, what, 5? 4?
Durant's got 4, Harden 3, Westbrook 2, Kobe 2, like McGrady 2, Iverson 4. I know LeBron started in, 2003? So
I believe.
So T-Mac,
Yeah.
Kobe, Durant, and Harden, and Westbrook.
What, MJ don't have one?
Whoa, he's got
9.
I thought he had 10.
Or 10, he might have 10.
Yeah.
He's got the most all time. All of those guys got multiples during LeBron's reign.
Mm-hmm.
Durant's got multiple championships. Curry's got multiple championships. Both of them winning records against LeBron in the ones they played in. Or is Steph 2-2? Or did he win 3?
Steph is
3-2.
Did Steph get 3 championships or only get 2? Because he played LeBron 3 or 4 times.
I thought he was 3.
He beat LeBron, I think.
He beat LeBron twice because I know he beat him with Kevin.
So he's got 3, I think.
I think he does have 3 because he beat Kevin and then beat him twice, and then LeBron and then Steph, Clay, and Draymond beat him one time.
3-time NBA champion.
Yeah.
So Steph's got 3. Durant's got 2. We look at all those scoring records. Like, everybody is getting off on LeBron. Like, he's not dominating anything other than he's been to 10 straight. Or went to 10 straight. Just look at those all-time scoring titles. I know Jordan was 1. I'm gonna pull
Doesn't LeBron have 4 now?
Yeah.
Scoring titles?
No.
Or championships. He's got 4. He's only got 1 scoring title. Here's your scoring titles. Jordan 10 times. Wilt Chamberlain 7. George Irvin, what was it? 3 years in a row. He got the 4th. Gervin and Iverson got 4, and so does Mike. And then Bob McAdoo is 7th on the list. He's off the top of the league. He went on to win 3 scoring titles. So there's only 7 people with more than 2.
Yeah.
And James Harden and Durant added to it too. So 9 people's got more than 1 or more than 2, and LeBron isn't one of them. Steph's even that's just everywhere. All right, Major League Baseball, hockey, wrestling. What's next on your agenda, Hunter?
I ain't got nothing. Seriously, I don't have anything because, like you said, there's nothing. Regular season basketball, cool. North Carolina beat number 11 Florida State the other day after losing record Marquette. That was all over the place. Other than that, March Madness is around the corner.
Should Coach K?
When does March Madness start?
I'm gonna let you guess.
I know it starts in March, but like, what day in March?
Damn it, Kevin! You should have just let. I was just gonna let you guess.
You idiot! You idiot!
You
know what I meant.
Dinner's fun.
I'm just gonna let you guess.
What's this? What? No,
what
we're laughing.
date though? Is it like the 16th? I think it's usually 16th, isn't it?
I don't really know because most of the time, I would think most conference championships have already been played by now. But because they've kind of
March 18th.
Okay, so that's when it's officially supposed to start.
That's first day, March 18th.
Because I think they said the Big East tournament is starting this week. I don't know how many conferences are playing a set tournament and not just taking their guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I think they could get it in a conference champion or a conference tournament.
My idea, Hunter.
Well, Carolina and Duke aren't going to be in it this year.
Yeah, that's a lie. Duke ain't going to be in it.
It's my idea. See how you feel about it. Whoever wins the regular season in every conference,
Automatic bid,
and does not play in the conference tournament.
Sure,
you're not allowed to play in the conference tournament.
Sure.
And then the conference tournament champion gets an automatic bid.
Sure.
But what that would do, and Terry won't like it, is giving the top 2 teams in these smaller leagues
2 teams.
2 teams in it. And then the ACC, instead of having 9, can have 8.
Wow. I think they're already projected.
Is that a bad thing?
I think the
just
ACC
wanna know,
is projected to have 7. So wow, maybe 6. Wow.
I mean, is that a bad thing?
No, it's not a bad idea. I don't think.
I
I
just
don't think it's a bad idea.
I just can't get
I
it.
never see a bad idea for them wanting mid majors to join.
It's funny how Terry goes from, you guys are elitist during football, but during basketball, he turns into an elitist. Like, he does not want.
Well, no,
he wants every team in the ACC in the NCAA tournament.
Yes, that's what it is. It's conference. I don't understand people that are. I want to see the conference win.
Now, I won't see Duke lose every game.
Exactly. Nothing.
will never be that
nothing
person.
in my power wants. Like even
Right?
if
Do you pull for the Eagles or Dallas or Giants if they're in the Super Bowl?
No. And
weird.
Terry brings that up sometimes. Like, well, the division. I'm like, Terry, I don't give a shit about
I'll
the
never pull
Eagles,
for the
Giants,
Cubs.
or the Cowboys.
I might pull for the Pirates.
Well, they've done nothing in years anyways.
The only other team I will
The Pirates
pull
have
for
the
is the
coolest ass
Panthers.
stadium and the coolest damn uniforms.
And they ain't nothing.
Can't win jack shit. I like their uniforms, stadium, everything about the Pirates. Georgia Tech's the next 4 out. Looking at it, I was wanting to pull up. Let's see.
If Florida State
Somewhere in
won
here it
that,
told me.
I think they were going to be in line for a 2 seed if they beat North Carolina. But guess what? Rained on that parade. Roy Williams was also 900th victory, fastest in 900 wins. Take that, Coach K. Shove that up your ass. Well, he was the first one to
He
get
beat
to
him by like
1,000.
15 games.
I
It
know.
wasn't much.
I know, but still.
It's like half a season.
But
Because they get all
still.
these stupid one and dones, which they should be. They should make them have to at
Listen,
least stay 2 years.
I can't take it away from Coach K, though. He did get 1,000 wins, so.
Yeah, and both of them have about 500 wins against teams that would never have a
Well, listen,
chance
I'll
at
say
ever
this,
beating them.
But I'll say this too. When we start talking about teams like the thing with LeBron moving up the record boards, after a while it's just a longevity thing. Coach K and Roy
Right.
Williams gonna be coaching for so long, you would expect them to get to that number, especially if they coach a good program. If they coached a shitty program and coach for 20 years, I don't think they get anywhere near 500 or 600 wins. Think about it. I mean, seriously.
Do you think they should change where these one and done should at least have to stay at least 2
100%.
years?
Well, I think they need to stay 3. It's either 3 or come out of high school. Nothing in between. Nothing in between.
There used to be on this bracketology thing, it showed you how many teams that had, like, per conference. And they've taken that part out for some reason.
Oh, how many teams make it per conference?
Right, who's in, who's out. And I was trying to, because I like going to that particular page and looking at that, because I wanted to get rid of, like, the 7th and 8th ACC teams. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, how could you even argue that an 8th place team or 7th place team deserves to be in a tournament for the national championship? Right. Like, you've already proven you can't even win a medal in your division. You don't have a bronze, gold, or silver medal, and you're talking about championships? Yeah. I don't like that part of it at all. I swear there's somewhere on here. I don't know where to look. It's not in the rankings. It used to be on bracketology when I clicked on it.
Only thing I do like it is that they've changed it to where even if you didn't win your regular season conference, if you win your tournament, you're in.
Yeah, that's been the rule for.
I like that.
I mean,
I think that's probably the best rule that they have.
Well, what it does is allows injuries.
Mm.
So if your best player gets hurt and he comes back by the
tournament
you
make a
can
run.
get in.
Not only that,
but that also knocks out teams that are like 27-1.
4th and 5th seeds. Hey, they have the opportunity in their conference to make a run.
Right.
You want to get in? That's how you get in.
But that's what I mean by why I want 2 from each team. Is because if a team goes like that and there's a team that's 27-1 in the conference, you're only taking 1. You know, why is that fair? The team Davidson beat to get when Curry made the run he did in the tournament, the team they beat in their conference didn't even make the tournament. Meanwhile, we're putting the 9th ACC team in there, or the 7th Big East team, and I don't like it. Nothing I can do about it though. Braves are up 4-2 right now in spring training.
Yeah, playing the Red Sox,
That
right?
matters.
Yeah,
It's
playing
done.
Boston. Yeah, nobody cares. Right now, and until the All-Star break, baseball. I'm sorry, nobody cares.
We got shit to do from now until mid-July.
Nothing.
Nothing. All right. So you ain't got nothing else on baseball, huh?
No, nothing. Seriously.
Pujols is thinking about his future. If that makes you happy. I'm gonna go through my tweets and pictures, and I think I had something I did want to share that's kind of stupid, kind of funny. Ain't got none. Hamilton agrees to 5-year deal with Michigan State. All right, let's see, Tanner.
Only thing I will say is Bleacher Report Gridiron tweeted the Cardinals play the Texans this season, so that might be another factor.
All right, one of my favorite Twitter follows is called Crime a Day. You ever heard of it?
Yes.
All right, Tanner, what it does is this guy tweets out one federal crime a day. He even wrote a book about it. And so he put all the federal crimes, that just some of the fun ones in a book, but he updates his thing like, I could tweet a federal crime, because his thing is there's too many crimes. Like I think the average is every single person, Hunter, commits 3 federal crimes a day without knowing it.
Right.
Like the average person, 3 federal crimes a day without knowing it. And so he's put it on his Twitter file basically that, if I tweet out every federal crime a day for forever, it would take me like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
That's how many stupid crimes are. Here's one. See if you've broken this law, Tanner. It is a federal crime to keep llamas in a medium or minimum security llama quarantine facility if it's not properly designed to prevent the escape of said quarantined llamas. Do I need to read that again? Did y'all get that?
No.
It is a federal crime to keep llamas in a minimum security quarantine facility if it's not properly designed to prevent the escape of llamas. So, it's a federal crime to keep them in a cage that's not made for llama, like it's not called a llama cage. So if it's a dog cage, it doesn't count. I'm confused on that one. You don't have any answers for me?
No.
About the llamas? Okay. Thought you liked llamas. You don't like llamas?
No.
No?
They spit in people's face. No.
They do. They do. Llamas are...
Little bastards.
Have you ever heard the
weird.
song where the guy said, "Llama, llama, red pajama"?
Yes. Have you seen Ludacris read it?
Yeah.
Is that what you was talking about? Have you seen that, Hunter?
What?
Llama, llama, red pajama. Ludacris reads it.
Oh, no.
And it sounds just it sounds fantastic.
Right.
And then they actually recorded a song.
Yeah. He did it.
Have you ever seen Muhammad Ali when he tried to read?
No.
He couldn't read anything.
I'm sure he can. He has Parkinson's and he beat his head in. George Foreman did at least. I swear I thought I had something funny.
No, he couldn't read before all the
No, he
brain trauma. They tried to get him to read before the brain trauma, and he couldn't.
In the 60s? Well, he's old.
He couldn't
I don't know
read.
if I could share this one on there. I'm going to have to wait till afterwards to read this one. That Tom wouldn't approve of that one, Hunter.
Would Tom not?
Tom would not approve of that one right there. All right. I swear there's nothing going on for, but we're making it exciting here. I know, guys. But we've got Yetis baseball this weekend, high school. We're just swamped of high school stuff right now. All right, guys. Let's just wrap it up then. If Hunter, you're good.
Yeah, I mean,
Anything on that? Did you watch the NASCAR race yesterday?
No.
I watched some of it, not much. Miami is not the drivers like it. It's not a competitive track, as in, and this is what I mean by that, and I don't know if the competitive is the word I'm looking for. The last caution average at Miami is at 40 laps. So you're not getting green, white checkers. You're not getting late cautions. And what the cautions do, that brings the field back together and allows late passing, late wrecking, late fun. So the drivers will get out ahead.
Right.
And so, like, William Byron, with 10 laps to go, they're like, he's going to win the race. And I'm like, there's 10 laps. But they knew that there's no pushing and fighting on it. So that was kind of quiet for us this week. And Bubba Wallace ain't doing much of nothing. Here's what's weird about it. We got 3 new winners, which is going to really mess up the playoffs. And that's what's exciting about it. Because some of these guys aren't going to make it. They're supposed to be good. Like Kyle Busch last year made it, squeaked in.
Might not
This year?
Nope.
With that type of performance, he won't. All right, Tanner, play us off, Bubba. There's your one, Howard. Thank everybody for tuning in to the Shock Joxx. Mondays and Wednesdays live 2 o'clock. Saturdays 8 a.m. Kevin Hastings Hunter Yancey. Intern Tanner's here. Zach will be with us Wednesday. Terry and Tom Saturdays. Thanks for tuning in. KDCBroadcast.com. Listen to the podcast.
The incredible man. I only do things incredible can. 'Cause don't see
That's one of
too
my-
many
that
like
might
me.
be-
'Cause
maybe my favorite thing in movie
one of
history.
the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be
As
me
an Uncle
instead
fan,
of you.
like,
'Cause
but it may be my favorite
still
thing in
on
movie
beat,
history.
showing love to the
I
streets.
had to
Come
think about
on, you
that.
know me, 'cause that's who I am.
'Cause there's some nudity that's pretty good too. All right, we'll see you next time. KDCBroadcast.com.